What's up, Thrashers, and welcome back once again to the Thrash Maniac 99 YouTube channel, and I am back with the final review for the weekend of May 24th, and I am talking about the latest offering from Summoner's Circle with Cult. This also came out on May 24th, this time I believe on Black Lion Records, and this is a Knoxville, Tennessee-based, kind of hard to describe them. They're listed as progressive slash black slash doom slash death metal, although there's not really much doom going on here. I would say, to put this more accurately, as progressive blackened death metal, because the black metal and the death metal elements always flip a lot on a lot of these tracks. So after the introduction with Apostles' Dogma, we get into the true opening track, Cult of the Dead Sun, and right off the bat, crawling riff, and then into a double time rhythm with some tremolo melodies that kind of feel a little bit black metal-ish, almost kind of reminded me a little bit of Borknagar a little bit, and then suddenly it turns into a death metal groove, and even during these sections the vocals flip as well. Like, you get the black metal screams but some pretty solid death metal roars, and even some cool tremolo harmonies that adds more to the black metal side of this album. Shroud of Humanity, this one does kind of get a little darker and a little more evil sounding. There's a big triplet rhythm with somber melodies at first, and then you get probably one of the only times on the album I would say it gets anywhere doomy is during a section when there's organs playing, and then the first instance of clean vocals come into play, but then the riffs just flat out turn evil, and then you get blast beats with dissonant riffs to kind of add a little more to the darker, more evil sound of this track, and then some soaring clean vocals coming in out of nowhere before it goes into double time rhythms once more. In reverence, I should say, in reverence of the cross, this one, I like how it starts. It starts off almost like straight up black metal, like in the vein of Dark Funeral, I would say, before you do get some death metal triplet chugs. And then this is really where I think the prog starts kind of taking over the rest of the album, well, at least the next few tracks, because the clean section definitely felt lavish and proggy, and then even the leads, there's not too many solos on this album in terms of like true blues solos, but here on In Reverence of the Cross, they're soaring on top of a chug, and then it's shred-tastic on top of a breakdown. And I also really like how the song ends with a really cool bass line. Thirst of the Vulture, dark chants, and then this song has quite a few moments with the acoustic guitars and off-time rhythms. Kind of made me think of Dream Theater a little bit, like a little bit of a Dream Theater nod here on this track. But I like how not long after the atmosphere turns rather mysterious, then it all of a sudden goes straight into Triplet Chug City, but there's still some clean vocals. But then some of the riffs that come up on this track in particular kind of made me think of Opeth a little bit. And then towards the end you get more somber acoustic guitars and piano work to bring the song to a close. But then we get into the longest track of the album, Prophet of Death, which was a little over 7 minutes long. This one definitely kind of goes for more of the proggy feel, with the lavish melodies and the clean guitar work and even the clean vocals. And for the most part, it remains relatively in that realm. Although some of the riffs that come up here, more of those dark atonal riffs show up, but you do get some solid groove and blast beats coming back. But then we end with one of the shorter tracks of the album, a little over 4 minutes, with Dogmatic Defilings. This one, I would say, is closer to a technical death metal song. Like, there's low-end tremolos, blast beats, and triplet chugs that just scream death metal. But then some of the riffs that come along afterwards feel a little more technical and a little more challenging, but there are some grooves and blasts coming in towards the end of the track to bring the album to a close. So yeah, this album goes for a lot, and in terms of production, solid job with the production. It still maintains a good heaviness to it, but also really showcases the melody and a pretty solid mix. As far as songwriting goes, yeah, they're kind of going for a hodgepodge of prog, black metal, and death metal on here. I do like how they're able to go from a black metal section into a death metal section, but perhaps a lot of the transitions were a little too sharp. Like, it didn't really give you a lot of room to breathe unless it was in the more proggy tracks later on in the album where the transitions do get a bit smoother. But especially on the tracks where they weren't quite proggy and they were just going for more of the blackened death metal hybrid sound, it sometimes doesn't transition the best. But overall, I thought for the most part this album had some pretty cool ideas going on, and for a Knoxville band, they're really going for something quite unique here. So overall, I'm going to give this a 3.5 as well. I thought for the most part this was a very enjoyable listen. Definitely a little more akin, like I said, to blackened death metal, but you do get quite a few prog moments on here. And I see this band having a pretty big future ahead of them. But of course, those are just my thoughts. What did you guys think of Cult by Summoner's Circle? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Keep your horns high and your dreams wet.
Thank you for your patronage.